Greetings, holy ones. Welcome to this live transmission here on Christos Avatar TV. As we will be talking about, well, what are spirits really? Because this is an ancient concept, principle. People have dealt with spirits. People believe or don't believe in spirits. Spirits are actively influencing humans, culture, our inspiration. This is something that eludes us, something that is unseen, but can be seen, confirmed within your own spiritual journey. And so this is something, let me check sound. Testing, okay. Lights, sound, okay. What I will be doing, though, is explaining what spirits really are from the Emerald Order point of view, also called the innerchristos law of one. And you could say that spirits are a spiritual science, because it's science and spirituality. And so that's part of how I'm going to explain what spirits are. But there's also some unique thing happening on planet Earth because of our a huge event that happened way far back in our super ancient history. Because I say super ancient because the mainstream science and the 3D, 3D mainstream science does not confirm or acknowledge spiritual realities, spiritual frequencies. Science hasn't even found the soul. Don't believe it. We'll dismiss it, much less spirits. And if you try to talk about spirits from, or an experience with the spirit, with someone else, you could be mocked or laughed at, ridiculed. Unless you're like sharing your experience, your testimony with someone like you, like a starseed or an indigo child, or someone developing their extra sensory perceptions. Because this phenomena, spirits, is in another we call spiritual frequency vibration. So unless you have your extra sensory perceptions activating, you would not perceive them. You would not experience them. At least not, if you did, you wouldn't know what in the world happened. Like if you felt something or some unseen force influenced your whatever you're doing. So you would say a lot of people who don't believe in spirits or suspect spirits but just don't understand them will react with fear. And maybe some of those spirits were malevolent. But you can't say that all spirits are malevolent, but certainly a lot of them are. So, and plus it's just, if that happens to a 3D normal person, they also understand if they talk about it, they understand that they might be ridiculed. And so they just dismiss it, ignore it, forget it, until it may happen again. So, it's a very interesting topic, and I just want to say at the beginning here that there's two explanations of what spirits are. And we're going to be talking about that from the spiritual science point of view, and also about what happened in the super ancient history, because we're told we're only existing for 6,000 or 7,000 years, like Homo sapiens sapien, right? But we're not going along, these teachings are not based or limited to the evolution theory proposed by science. We're 560 million years old, and that's our multidimensional history. Now, our Earth-based history is 25 million years as Earthlings, Earth 3D-based consciousness. So there's something that happened previously before that caused humans to experience spirits. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Let me just prepare this frequency here. Get the energies going. Get the space protected and cleansed. Because that's a part of your spiritual hygiene. You don't just take a bath once a week or once a month. Well, maybe some people do, but you do it regularly. You're supposed to take care of yourself, especially if you're interacting with humans, especially if you're intimate with another person. You want your space. You want to be mindful of your spiritual hygiene regularly. You cleansed yourself yesterday, you cleanse yourself today and tomorrow. It's a regular process. And we're this planet, whether you're on high vibrations, high level frequency or not, there's a bunch of frequencies around you that are not on the same level. This is why you still need to, activate your Maharic seal, which we talk about in these teachings. And you co-create with positive frequencies that help protect the space, while you're not actively, consciously focused on it 24/7. Now, you see me putting down these incense resins. See, this is an incense resin. It's like sap, the essence of a tree. Like you go to a pine forest and get the sticky sap, that could be burned as incense. And I do that a lot when I go camping. I go, wow, there's a ton of, endless supply of incense out here, right? If you want to burn pine. So, and you guys, write it in the comments if you have had an experience with any type of spirit, whether that is positive or negative. Because while some people believe spirits are all demonic energies, they're not. And let them have their ideas and opinions. But from these teachings, not all spirits are going to be negative or dark. Last one. Got my amber going on. Because a lot of my family are Christian. I'm not Christian, but we're Christic. We're just not following the dogma and distortion of religion. So we talk about Jesus and we talk about God, just not from the religion point of view, which we cover a lot on my Christos Avatar TV channel. I have over 1,200, maybe it's up to 300 now. I'm not sure. I just don't count them all the time. But there's a lot of videos I've made that talking about the distortions of religion and also New Age. We're not New Age, even though some people see my hippie shirt, my hippie hair, and think I'm New Age. I'm not New Age. These are Christos, innerchristos teachings. That's where the word Christ originates. So that's when we say Christic. It's connected to the Christos. So thank you guys for being here with me. Bless all of you in your journey. Let me say hello to our community. We have a very beautiful, loving community. And so you guys, if you have any questions, feel free to write them in chat. And you can even disagree and write your comments in chat. Just be respectful. Don't be profane. I have moderators here because sometimes we get trolled with those type of low vibe energies. So we can agree to disagree and be peaceful about it. So we're going to do that. So hopefully you will do that too. Because like I said, there's going to be all kinds of ideas and opinions about what spirits are. Jane Dunn. Welcome, Holy One. Bless you. Thank you so much for being here, Jane. Lauren Wisdom. Woohoo! Hey, fam. Got a migraine tonight. Oh, you guys, let's send some healing frequency to our star sister, Lauren. Relief. Relief. feel relief, say to yourself, I am relief. I am healed. In any type of wording that your own personal self wants to express, that's the best form. And to me, something like a migraine or something else might as well cleanse and purify your space and throw up your Mahark seal and put intention that you are healed. I feel wonderful. I feel great. Machiwa. Bless you, Lauren. Hope you feel better soon, Star Sister. El Salvador. Rashallah. Blessings to you. So wonderful to have you join us. Thank you for being here. Lady Tracy Ann. Woohoo! What's going on, sister? Omni-Christos love to Anuhazi and the tribe here from Australia. Blessings to Australia. Thank you for being here, lady. And you're always so kind and peaceful. It's so happy to have you join our Christic energy. You're part of that. Thank you, lady. Lady Ann. Syrian Star Princess. Good evening, crew. Woohoo! Sir Madison, what's up, brother? Reverent respect to you, homie. Thank you for being here and watching our communities back. Hampan Mermaid in the house. She says, hi, Star family. I be in and out and handling the earthlings. Much respect. We will feel your frequency. Thank you for holding space with us, too. Kristen Loves. Woohoo! Good evening, Cosmic Fam. Sending you love and healing mamas to Lauren. See, she already got ahead of that. Giannis 111 Omni Love Star Fam. Bless you, Giannis. Thank you for being here with us. And I know I have something that's for my star sister Giannis. She's always been that frequency, but it's official. Kristen Loves, I randomly got a psychic hit just now, and boom, we're all here. Wow, there we go, sister. What's up? Pink Lemon, unconditional love, Machiwa to you, Holy One. Star sister. Lillian Gomez, hello to you. Warren B, Machiwa, everyone. Quantum Beauty 7, good evening, Holy Ones. See, everybody realizes in this community, you're going to have a lot of enlightening people, awakening people. Our brother Steve, Grand Rising, all from New Zealand. In my outdoor bath. Woo, all right, man. Getting that baptism going on. Yeah. It's always good to do that in nature. Why not, right? If you go out into the wilderness or go out to some beautiful lake, some ocean, some sea, some pond, some creek, why not? Good to have you here, brother. We got Celine, Star Sister. Welcome, Holy One. Good to have you, one of our moderators. Blessings to you. And Sir Madism. Sacred Vato Locos. And Stardust Goddess. Blessings, Stardust Goddess. Much love and respect to you. I'm very bad at that. I'm not sure what he was referring to, but welcome 3.14 slices of pie. Pie. Good to have you. Oh, lots of negative entities on your space. Well, just like I said to our sister about her headache, same thing can go for you, brother, sister. I can't tell what gender that is, but the same thing for you. That's where you come into your space. And you could say, like one of the things that I like to articulate, vocalize, on the outside, not just inside. Connecting to the guardians, if you believe in that. Connecting to the higher dimensional selves. Like a prayer. Protect me. Use those words. Protect me from any... I usually start with protection from, you have mind, body, emotion, spirit. Holy Elohai, Holy Elohai, Holy Elohai, the blue flame, Universal Trinity. Protect me from any darkness or hatred or black magic or curses. Say specifically, I am protected. I do not allow any negative or dark energies. And you guys can write out your affirmation, that is articulated. Say it, speak it, stand in your power. Don't allow it. I mean, this is very relative to what we're talking about right now, spirits. Some of them are negative spirits. You see what I'm doing, brother? We just talked about it. Why not use resins? Not stick incense. That's not going to do jack. A lot of people put stock in stick incense. It's not doing anything. It's fake frequency. Literally, fake. It's pretending to be a fragrance. It's not the fragrance. It's not the essence of actual resin. So you want to have the real thing. If you don't have the real thing, then there's all kinds of cheaper alternatives. Some shaman use tobacco. You can search for that online, how to do that with tobacco. There's certain things that you can do with something you already have in your home, specific herbs that were probably in your kitchen. So they don't. If you can't get a hold of frankincense right now, it's a matter of intention. It's a matter of speaking. It's a matter of praying. It's a matter of connecting and stating and claiming. And you do not allow. Say you do not allow. And you always want to phrase it in a positive way, not a negative phrasing. Oh, I've watched Book of Eli, Steve. That's with Denzel Washington, right? And he was blind. He couldn't see, but he was still a badass, right? But that was still biblically based, religious based. So I don't know what kind of message you're trying to share, but thank you guys for being here. Let me get start. So thank you for spending your Tuesday with us, you guys, as we go deeper into what are spirits. If you guys have any questions in chat for me, make sure you highlight my name by tagging it like Helena did. Blessings, Helena. Tag Christos Avatar TV in your message, and it will highlight for me to see. And if I don't see it right away, I'll see it 10 minutes later and answer you guys. So, spirits. All kinds of words are rooted to this word. Spirit, spirits, spiritual, spirituality, spirits, having to do with spirits. I talked about my journey, you guys, before I was in these teachings. I was stuck in New Age. I have these books that for now, they're sitting on my shelf. They're going to be put in storage soon because I'm going to be moving soon. So, but for me, these occult, black, magic books and New Age books are now going to be used as examples and reference material. For example, I got the Encyclopedia of Spirits, and this like 10 years ago, right? So you're going to get the New Age Wiccan point of view of spirits, not the Christic point of view. You're not going to have these books explaining the context of creation or references to your inner Christos. They're going to be venerating spirits. They're going to teach you how to invocate spirits. That's not what we do. So, But no judgment, you guys. Whatever your beliefs are, whatever your path is. We respect all beliefs, but when it comes to this channel, teaching the Inner Emerald Order teachings, it is our task, because they do it themselves. In these books, in these video workshop series, they are exposing the distortion in the world and in religion and in the New Age. So I'm doing that as a student of this work, as someone who resonates with these teachings, who's confirmed it for myself in my own spiritual journey. So, spirits. You can say spiritual. If you say the word spiritual, doesn't mean you're talking about spirits. But what is people's ideas about spirits and spiritual and spirituality? Well, that's kind of like an indication, an implication. An implication that there's some otherly world. And this otherly world has been described in many different ways. Spirits are not coming from our world. Look at them. It's a ghost-like being, energy. It's not our world. Humans know the difference. That's not a human being, animal being, or whatever. That's some otherworldly spirit. So you're going to have all kinds of things falling into this category, falling into this folklore, into these myths. So religion doesn't help, because they're going to say all of that is demonic. All of it is negative. It's not. Some of it is just lost. Some of it is just confused. Some of it is just disembodied. It doesn't make that malevolent or evil. What makes something dark is not being a spirit or not being a human or even being an angel. What makes something dark is what they think, what they express, what they do. Not being a spirit, not being an Anunnaki, not being a reptilian. It's what that reptilian, what that Anunnaki, what that being is aligned with. Maybe it's peaceful, disembodied spirit or spirit. Maybe it's just died in a car crash and was immediately disembodied from ascension or some type of waiting period in your crystal body. Doesn't make that being evil, because now it's a spirit. These are distorted beliefs. And so, religion is all about dogma and worshiping spirits. The unseen beings from other worlds. Oh, spirits are evil, but we're worshiping spirits, the good ones. You have all kinds of gods, not just Yahweh, Father God. Yahweh is just one spirit God of 30,000 plus different gods and goddesses. So it's kind of ridiculous when you say spirits are evil, but you're worshiping a spirit of some sort, a being from another world. We're defining what are spirits. They're beings from other levels of reality. While part of you understands that, you don't really understand that. Really. Because when your model of reality is coming from mainstream science or distorted religion, and then you have this kind of like iffy type of definition of what is a spirit, you can't really define what is a spirit. You can't define what are these other worlds. You don't have a manual or a science on earth that explains poltergeists or spiritual beings or demons or fallen angels or any type of angels. There is no model of creation in your understanding for most people. If you're coming into these teachings, you do have a manual. You do have an awareness. You do have a reference. You do have a memory of what is a spirit. Machiwa. So we're going to go into a little bit about what mainstream says spirits are, to give it an idea of how prevalent it is. It's not just a myth. When millions of humans throughout history, you could say billions of humans throughout history, not just the now generation, all the, thousands of generations before you have talked about spirits. And some people still don't believe in them and think it doesn't exist, think it's just imagination. So most of tonight is not trying to prove to you spirits exist. What I'm about to explain right now is people have been experiencing spirits, whether you personally have experienced anything paranormal or supernatural. Other beings are, and you can't just dismiss that historical context. But people still will. It's just your imagination. You're crazy. You're a schizophrenic. Get off the drugs. When you don't understand that, when you realize yourself, you understand these teachings, you understand the context of creation, you understand that they do not understand. But you don't fall to their level and start criticizing and making fun of them. Machiwa. Let me stay hydrated, make sure I'm hydrated here. Because you can say there's all kinds of categories of spirits. I'm going to read from my notes. There's ancestral. And, your ancestors, people consider those spiritual beings from part of your lineage, ancestral spirits. So you can... those people who are working with that kind of frequency do understand they're not all negative. They're not all dark. Found in many cultures worldwide. Africa, Asia, Native traditions, Native Americans, believed to guide, protect, and watch over descendants. And when I was in shamanism, that was something that I was researching on my own in my own spiritual journey. Believed, often honored through rituals, offerings, and ceremonies. Now, those are some of the things I would not be doing myself. Because you don't find... I'm not criticizing those people who bleed. That's not what I'm doing, you guys. What I'm saying is we go to our innerchristos and find our ancestors. Because what are people saying are their ancestors? Ancestors are your lineage, those who died before in your family line. Those who are part of your tribe. Like if you're an Apache or Navajo, they will do these rituals, offerings and ceremonies for their spirits. See, like this New Age source, they're going to teach you how to get favors from spirits, how to get protection from spirits. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm listing these 3D ideas and beliefs and folklore to show you how prevalent spiritual activity is, especially for a lot of those disbelievers. I mean, surely you can think in your family, people you may trust or love who talked about some experience with spirits, even though you don't believe in them, but it makes you think when someone you respect is talking about their actual experience. There's a whole category of nature spirits, common in indigenous and pagan traditions. spirits of forests, rivers, mountains, animal spirits. Like a lot of Native Americans have something called a totem. They, experience that in their dream state. They'll experience it in their altered states on plant medicine. They're known to be dancing around a fire and taking peyote or whatever, San Pedro, and they will be going into these altered states and connecting to spirits and what they believe are their ancestors or nature spirits. Examples are dryads. Sorry if I say some of these things, my pronunciation is off. Tree spirits, dryads. In Greek mythology, kami in Shinto, Japanese beliefs, often associated with fertility, growth, balance in nature. So you'll see people are working with spirits from their own understanding for their own veneration, for their own ritual, for their own purposes. Whether something's going on in their personal life, in their tradition, you saw Native Americans, Greek examples, Japanese examples, African, Asian, Native American examples. In their beliefs, in their culture, this is their knowledge. This is what they're interpreting. Maybe some of those interpretations, which I'm going to talk about later, maybe some of these interpretations are actually their connection to guardians, to higher selves. And I will just plant that seed right now. Maybe these beings, higher guardians, higher selves, are communicating to you in your belief, in your understanding. This is why I go back to the hardcore religious belief that they're all demonic. They're not all demonic. Ghosts and restless spirits. I always got to check chat, make sure it's okay and going, yeah. Mainstream idea. Souls of the dead lingering in the physical world may appear due to unfinished business, trauma, or improper burial. Now, I'm going to talk about that because that's not actually what's going on. I might as well give you a hint already. What they're talking about is disembodied spirits that happen because of the cataclysm in Atlantis. And I'll be going into that in more detail. There are ghosts, restless spirits, but the Guardians call them disembodied spirits. It's in Voyagers, guys. I'm not making stuff up. They're seen in many, those people who say they don't exist, spirits are your imagination, they don't exist. But they're seen throughout history in nearly every culture, from Western hauntings. Okay, that's another whole topic of spirits, hauntings, haunted houses, haunted locations. But also to Chinese hungry ghosts. Guardian spirits found in Christian, Islamic, and indigenous traditions. Similar to the idea of guardian angels, beings assigned to protect individuals or groups. And once again, maybe it is a guardian. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but maybe it is some guardian who you're literally biologically connected to, soul essence wise connected to, that have a contract or an agreement to protect you, your people, your family, or not. It could be some of the trickster spirits we're going to be talking about. Because you better believe, just like they're using the fallen angels, the malevolent ETs are using our folklores, our beliefs, our guardian teachings against us. They will twist it, and then you're going to be confused about what's really going on. In Native American traditions, and I've already mentioned this, could appear as animal totems or power animals. And here's a very interesting topic, you guys. Let's say someone does have something wrong or something dramatic in their death. They could become disembodied, become a disembodied spirit. What is that really in these terms? We live in within the context of creation, we're in density universe 1. That's made of dimensions 1, 2, and 3. Density universe. The first universe has 3 dimensions. A disembodied being, it means they cannot, for whatever reason, go back to their crystal body, morphogenetic field, or they can't, there is no body to reincarnate in. They're stuck in the hologram fields, the hollow fields of the first, second, or third dimension, and I'd like to mention also the fourth dimension, which is the astral, but that's beings who couldn't come back. Their morphogenetic field was in the density universe 2 upon death, and they couldn't get back to their body, their normal incarnations here in the first universe. So they became disembodied in the astral on their way in, on their way trying to get back in. It's even talked about in Voyagers, and I'll show it a little bit later as we go after this topics here. Demonic or malevolent spirits, often tied to, of course, religious frameworks like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. They just say they're all evil. And while these are, they will say, considered tempters, deceivers, or destructive entities. You guys, surely we have those. Surely some of these spirits are these negative energies, but not all of them. But religion's going to put them all in the same bucket. And, and they're going to just, look at all these other religions and just say, that's all blasphemy, that's all Lucifer, satanic. If you're talking about your ancestor. So, in folklore, jinn, in Islamic tradition, some are good, some are harmful. They call them jinn, genie, The Christianity, they just call them fallen angels or unclean spirits. And you'll see many verses in the Bible using that term specifically, unclean spirits. There's also a group of spirits called deified spirits or demigods. You'll see a lot of Romans, Greeks worshiping demigods. There's gods and then supposed demigods who are part God and part something else, so they're a demigod, not as powerful as a regular god, right? You guys know very clearly on my channel, we dismiss all of these beings. Not me, this is the teachings. These are all extraterrestrial beings claiming to be gods. So if an ET is a biological just like we are, but just in a higher dimension, they can have sex with a 3D human female and produce demigod, or they'll be described as demigod entities, what we call hybrids. But in the religious world, they're confused a little bit maybe, and they're calling them demigods. Not just religion, but pagan religions too. Monotheism religions. Ancient Rome, these are household spirits like Lares or Penates. I don't know how to pronounce those terms, you guys. Lares, Lares, Penates. In Polynesian, that's usually the Polynesian islands, traditions, great chiefs could become powerful guiding spirits. That's another thing I don't agree with. Those are fallen angels. You're not going to have some guardian, you're not going to have some person who died in the 3D start haunting or start helping other humans. It doesn't work that way. What actually is happening is that being is already a fourth dimensional or higher being, and now coming to you in the spirit form. Which realize that most of these things are happening in an altered state, such as the dream state, or altered state on drugs or plant medicine, or if it's a poltergeist, you're seeing awakened, no drugs, no altered state, but you have some type of altered state, even just a slight altered state, because that being that you can see, maybe people around you can't see it, because you have this. One thing you have to take in consideration is you have some higher chakras, whether you believe or understand it or not. So you can perceive while someone next to you couldn't perceive one of these type of spirits. It has to do with extrasensory perception, psychic abilities, whether you're aware of those or not. So that's deified spirits and demigods. Let me check in on chat. And you guys, I just want to say, close to the beginning here, this channel survives off of your donations. So you guys, please support my work. If you like these videos, if you're learning something at all, please support this work. I put a donation link in the chat, so you can easily just click on that, support your brother Enuhazi, and so I can keep on doing this full time for you guys. So thank you so much for those donations. And you can also send a donation by PayPal if you don't want to do it publicly. My PayPal link is below. Thank you guys. The jinn. Yeah, brother. Sir Matt, you said it. Some people call him jinn. Some call him jinn. Puzzle Rabbit. Steve mentions possession. And yes, possession is possible, you guys. Not only, as our teacher Ashiana Dean talk about this, there's different ways for these beings to have possession over your body, because that's what possession is. Another being, another consciousness can possess your body. And so that can happen at birth, where they'll just kick you out before you make it into the body. You were the essence, the soul essence, intending to go into that fetus of your pregnant mother, but because of certain circumstances, they can get in there before you do, or they can push you aside and get in there. And now they're born that way. But most of the time it can happen in, like I said before, if you start getting into some twisted lifestyle, you're playing with Ouija boards, you're just inviting that shit. You can start going downhill in your beliefs and your ideas and be surrounded by these freaking things until they get inside you. If you're in some drug induced coma or whatever, they will find a ways. They are actively trying to find bodies. And you will hear Ashana talk about in some of these workshops how this was a huge problem in Atlantis. They were taking over people's bodies left and right. So spiritual possession is a real thing. Remember, this is spiritual science. They found the solution to do it, the tools and ways to do it. So you become mindful of this possibility. You become mindful of your thoughts and your consciousness. You go on a spiritual journey. You learn to protect yourself. You won't have these problems. If you are having the demonic frequencies, scary ass spirits around in your life, it's coming from you and what you're doing and what you're believing and what you're thinking and what you're practicing and what you're doing to other people. It could be karmic as well. It could be coming from curses, black magic against you. All this shit is possible in 3D world, man. This is why you learn how to go on the right way, the path of enlightenment, of awakening. Treat your body as a spiritual vessel. Do not allow these spirits and beings. Part of your combating this problem, if you have this problem, is being able to stand in your confirmation of this power as a Christic being, as a being connected to Source God. Know that you are. There's so many things in these teachings that are sharing with you ways of affirming things, declaring things out loud. You declare them. It becomes part of your shield. It becomes part of your protection. You have some problems with dark beings. You have lack of protection, lack of spiritual integrity. These beings can't possess every body. Otherwise, they would have done it. It's people who are weak in their spiritual frequency, in their consciousness, who are having these issues, who can have these issues. It depends on your lifestyle. So whoever's doing those hearts, bless you. Bless you. Thank you for all your loving, positive energy. You're like blessing this whole video, this whole channel. I mean, all the community here. Thank you for that. Elemental spirits, another category, prominent in Western esotericism and alchemy. There's books on this stuff. I showed you one. Each element has a spirit form. Gnomes, earth, yeah. And yes, gnomes are real. Remember, these metaphysical, occult, magical books, videos, they don't have the creation context. So they don't actually know what these beings are. But they know the folklore behind it. They know the history of these beings. So it's like you're trying to analyze what these beings are without the true context. So you'll get New Age ideas of spirits. This book is called Spirits. It's about spirits, and this is what they're going to talk about. That's their point of view. The public face of spirits, the secret lives of spirits, who or what are spirits, realms of spirits, where are spirits most likely to be met, why do spirits help us, working with spirits. You want to work with spirits? Christic beings don't do that. We go through our inner Christos to connect to guardian angelic beings, guardian conscious versions of ourselves. You might as well go play with the Ouija board. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying that's what these people are going to get involved with, right? Finding your spirit allies, communicating with spirits, the care and feeding of spirits. Are spirits dangerous? They certainly can be. Commanding and compelling spirits. That's not our way. That's not our path. If it's yours, bless you in your journey. Hopefully you'll eventually find out through your own self. Like I was saying, each element has a spirit form because there's 5 elements. Some say there's a 6th element. Gnomes, earth. Undines, water. Sylphs, air. The element of air. The element of fire, they say, is salamanders. This is all metaphysical BS from the Christic point of view. But this is their beliefs. This is their knowledge. Symbolize the raw forces of nature in human-like forms. Trickster spirits, another category of spirits, appear across many mythologies. Not purely evil, but chaotic, mischievous, and unpredictable. Examples like Loki. Marvel Heroes is sharing with you Loki, a Norse god. And here's another example, the coyote. It's considered one of these trickster spirits. So if you see that in your energies, coyote, why am I seeing the coyote? Why am I seeing Norse gods? The Anansi, West Africa, I can't pronounce that, often used to teach lessons through chaos or humor. You guys, this is not the Emerald Order law of one way. You're not going to get lessons through freaking chaos. And while if you're watching this video and you believe that, that's your understanding. And I make lots of videos about that. I bring up the distortion you find in Gnosticism that say that chaos is part of creation. And I make it quite clear on my channel that no, it is not. The Guardians make it quite clear. It is an anomaly. It came 250 billion years ago out of an entire system that is 950 billion years old. It wasn't always here like the Gnostics say. or like people believe in these folklore. Just saying, because that's part of tonight's topic. So there's spirits in folklore, but, versus organized religion. Folklore, indigenous traditions, animism, the belief that everything, trees, rivers, mountains, has a spirit. Now, I wouldn't say I agree everything with animism, but that's actually true. But we call spirit consciousness. Okay, so it can be confusing to some people to say everything's made of energy, but everything isn't made of energy. But we go farther. God is energy. God is consciousness. We're all part of that spirit, that consciousness, that energy. It's called the unified field by the Guardians. So yes, everything is spirit. Everything is consciousness. They're the same thing. A spirit is consciousness. Consciousness is spirit. It's the same thing. There is nothing that's physical. That's why the term itself is kind of a misnomer. Animism. Like everything is alive. Everything is spirit. Everything is part of Source God. Notice so that's just one of the folklore indigenous traditions. Shamanic worlds, spirits of animals, ancestors, and nature serve as guides, helpers, and healers. So that can go both ways. Those can be fallen angels or it could be guardian angels. Regional examples. Native American traditions, they have their animal totems. They have spirit guides. African traditions, their ancestral veneration, but not just them, other people do that. Or some type of spirit intermediaries. You guys will hear me say that. There is no intermediary between you and God. But cultures like African cultures and other traditions will believe there is. But you guys know the truth from the inner Christos, direct vertical connection to Source God. Everything has that connection, not just humans, plant life, animal life, brownies, sprites, fairies, everything. Subatomic particles, we're all connected to God. And that message is spoken loud and clear in the Emerald Order, Inner Christos Law of One. Celtic folklore talks about fairies, household spirits, and elemental beings. You guys, we all have this, a lot of you indigo children, a lot of you who align with as a starseed. A lot of us started from here, did we not? It's almost kind of like, okay, we have this spiritual bondage on Earth. We have this warfare on Earth between us and the Anunnaki and the draconian races, mostly, between those two factions, mostly, who are expressed in dragons and insectoid beings and reptilian beings and Anunnaki beings. I don't want to, let's see. I'm just trying to say that there are so many sources to these folklore, so many explanations for where they're coming from, and so you're going to get some confusing because not everyone in all these cultures and beliefs understand this context of the inner Christos Law of One, and you're going to get distortions and beliefs that have been introduced to us, like the Book of Enoch, like Thoth teachings, like any type of, because you will find in just Voyagers 2 alone, how these fallen ETs races have actually created religions, like Mormonism, like, what's that book called? Urantia book. So, you got these people in the occult like Madame Blavatsky, where they're getting these sources from, these distorted spiritual teachings coming from these fallen angelic beings. So there's a ton of confusion. Of course there's going to be confusion, because these beings have effed with all of our traditions, and a lot of those traditions they introduced to us. Just like in the book of Enoch, it explains how these fallen angels, alien extraterrestrials, came and brought us these ideas of magical systems, astrological systems, tarot systems, which all go back to them and their planets. You know, a lot of those astrological connections are going to those planets that are connected to these ET gods, like Zeus is connected to Jupiter. And Saturn and Mercury, they're all gods, Roman gods, Greek gods, it doesn't matter. They're all being connected to these fallen angelic alien races. These symbols in astrology and in tarot, Golden Dawn crap, it's in Aleister Crowley stuff. It's all going to fallen angels. It's made quite clear in Voyagers 2, in the back of the book. All of these fallen angels, from the Nephilim, the many different Anunnaki races, the Amelian race, the Inky, Marduk, Enlil. You see how many people today in 2025 are involved in all this false light systems. Polynesian, polytheistic, polytheistic, that means more than one god. It's like paganism. Greek and Romans, when it comes to spirits, they talk about spirits of the dead, the shades. Maybe it's shades because they talk about Hades. Household protectors. I mentioned that and I still can't pronounce it. Lares, Penates. Sorry, you guys can correct me in chat. I won't be mad about that. That's fine. Correct me. Daemons as intermediaries. Remember, Christic being, you don't need no freaking intermediary. But in the Greek days, the Roman days, they were all about intermediaries. It is fallen beings putting themselves between you and your source God. Egyptian, they talk about spiritual beings such as Ka, life force, Ba, personality, spirit essence, and gods with spirit-like aspects guiding the dead. You know, guardians are not about death. We're about life. So when you venerate death, like the Day of the Dead, or any belief, I'm not picking on one culture, any of these spiritual beliefs based on death is a huge red flag to a Christic student. Norse, they have their Valkyrs, land spirits, ancestors. Hinduism, Buddhism, spirits tied to reincarnation, to celestial beings, to something called the Yakshas, the Nagas, the Devas, and hungry ghosts. So yeah, these spirits were categorized and connected with gods or some type of cosmic order. You see how they're trying to bring in, just like the Elohim alien race brought in the Yahweh gods, they will create religions to bring in these intermediaries. And on a spiritual level, energetic level, you are feeding them these beings. You saw in this book, it even talks about feeding spirits. Okay? What do you think you're doing with veneration and worship and subservience? You're feeding these spirit beings. Maybe you don't have the understanding of what energy really is, or frequency, or how it can be exchanged. Well, when you got an altar and little totems and idols, and you're got all these symbolism, Golden Dawn symbolism, whatever you're worshiping, that's your intermediary to these fallen angels and the spiritual realms. You're feeding them. They know they're the ones who created these systems, so you can feed them. Originally, all of us humans are originally God, sovereign, free, angelic humans connecting to Source God. Now you're not connecting to Source God. Now you're connecting to polytheistic beliefs, animism, shamanic worlds. Now you're connecting to pagan systems, polytheistic systems, all these ascended masters, spirit guides, channeling entities. You're connecting to all these spirits, except for the source. Some dark energy, some dark beings, some dark races are the ones who are trying to replace Source God for you. And it didn't happen yesterday. It didn't happen in the New Age. It happened in ancient Egypt. It happened in ancient Atlantis, ancient Lemuria, a long, long, long time ago, before your ancestors, before your grandparents, a long time ago. You're not even aware of it because it was so long ago. It's not even in your DNA connection anymore. So it's regular to you. It's normal. It's good. It's a good way. It's part of the idea of New Age. Connect to the Celtic gods. Connect to the Egyptian gods. Connect to these spirits and all these other entities and divas and jinn. Because we think it's right or it's good. We want to connect to the supernatural or the paranormal, and we think that's the path. It's not the path, you guys. This video is here on Christos Avatar, and we represent the inner Christos, not intermediaries. But that's why I'm showing this video, to hopefully awaken some of those, because a lot of us indigo children and starseeds are stuck in these systems or coming from these systems. I even shared my own story. I was brought out of those false light systems, and that's exactly what these are. Okay, so monotheistic religions, because we talked about polytheistic religions. Well, there's still spirits in these religions, even though they say they're evil. Well, other spirits are evil. I mean, they're practicing evil. They're working with spirits, but they say other spirits are evil. So here's an example. Christianity, spirits framed as angels. Oh, those are good spirits. Demons, evil spirits. You see, they don't even know what angels really are. We learned about what really angels are. They're alien extraterrestrials following the path of order or following the path of chaos. And they also, of course, talk about the Holy Spirit, right? As a divine presence. Ghost, often dismissed as deceptive or demonic. That could be true for most circumstances, but not all circumstances. Islam. I know some people corrected me. Some people call them jinn. Some call them dijin. Islam calls it jinn, are a central category of spirits, capable of both good and harm, according to them. Created, according to their ideologies. Created from smokeless fire. Spirits aren't created from smokeless fire. Hate to tell ya. It's a spiritual science. Sorry, I don't mean to criticize any Islamic people. Just realize that's considered distortion in the Emerald Order innerchristos law of one teachings. And that's what my channel is based on. Judaism, concepts of dibuk, restless spirit. Remember, I can't pronounce all these things. Roch, spirit, breath, malakim, angels. What they call angels. Some of these beliefs call Archangel Michael and Ariel, Gabriel, Metatron as good beings. You see, there's going to be all kinds. There's a whole bunch of distortions in these teachings. Their teachings. So, yeah, you just get the theme that organized religions often divide spirits into good and evil within their moral framework, which is, according to the Christos, are distorted on their own, within their own frameworks. There's also New Age and modern spirituality when it comes to spirits, right? They emphasize spirit guides. You see how it transitioned now into guides helping you. Now, you're not following, some of you are not following those ancient Greek gods or Roman gods or the Islamic jinn, but you're following now spirit guides. You're following all kinds of nice guides now, I guess. This is an encyclopedia, baby. You got all kinds of spirits, thousands of different spirits and helpers and intermediaries for your innerchristos, to replace your innerchristos. New Agers and also call upon ascended masters. They call upon channeled beings. They recast these folklore spirits in softer, more positive terms. It didn't change, homie. It's still an aggressive, negative, fallen angelic ET, but it's being labeled as in a positive way. They blend cultural myths like Metatron. How many New Agers are using Metatron? They just borrowed it from Jewish Kabbalah. Metatron comes from Kabbalah, man. Whatever you're doing with the homie, Metatron is coming from the Jewish mysticism. It has no place in New Age, but you made it now your hippie movement. I'm not hippie, but you see what I'm saying? You made it part of this rainbow clouds. Metatron's good. You have no idea who is Metatron, do you? But even the Jewish mystics don't know what is Metatron either. So, what I say about all that confusion out there? So New Age is good at blending cultural myths and creating their own for personal empowerment narratives. Okay, you're using some spirit to personally empower you. Something is wrong there, homies. According from the law of one point of view, law of one, innerchristos. So they reframe, spirits are reframed as teachers and helpers for personal growth. And you guys, let's say Earth is going to keep going on and on for a while. Eventually, New Age will be replaced by something else. Maybe something to do with AI. It's already creeping in. Cyborgs. As we become more technologically advanced, it's going to switch from this Roman Greek periods, ancient Islamic periods, to this New Age periods, into some freaking transhumanism period. Things are just, the Greek gods, the Roman gods are the same as the previous Greek gods. Everything just gets renamed, homie. And you're thinking of it in a different way. You're just being punked in a different way. You're just being entangled in a different way. In folklore, spirits are everywhere, woven into life, neutral or situational. Organized religions, spirits are polarized into good and evil under divine authority. In modern spirituality, spirits are often marketed as helpers, guides, and beings of light. And you better believe it's being marketed in social media, in books, and in all kinds of conventions that you can go to. I've checked out some of those. My Chiwa Holy Ones. Let me check in on chat again. Giannis, Star Sister, moderator. Bless you, Holy One. Bless you, sister. So happy to have you with us. Much respect to you and your journey with us. I'm so happy that we can walk on this path together. Thank you so much for your support. Blessings to you, Giannis. Giannis, Ascended Master. Saren Star Princess. Woohoo! Much respect to the Divine Feminine in the house. Thank you to you as well, Syrian Star Princess. So glad to have you on the regular here. One of our future leaders, bringing in the Christos. Machiwa. Yeah, 11:11. Somebody came in at the right time, right? So I don't see any questions. Excuse me. I'm just checking for highlighted tag questions, you guys. If you have any questions, tag me so I can see it. There's spirits by function. You got protectors, okay? Whether they understand they're good protectors or not, whether they're just being presented as protectors, just like alien beings present themselves as God. Guardian spirits found in many cultures, from guardian angels in Christianity to spirit animals in native traditions, like a totem animal. Household protectors, Roman lares, Slavic domovoi, Celtic brownies. These are often examples of being, often invoked for safety, protection of the family, and guidance through, if you're experiencing any type of danger, you would call upon a protector spirit. Instead of the Mark Seal or your own guardian Christos family, you're going to connect to a brownie, for example. Machiwa. To each their own. Messengers by function, remember? Messengers. Some are messengers. Spirits as go-betweens, between humans and higher powers. That goes back to the innerchristos, homies. Greek daemons, intermediaries between gods and mortals. Angels in Abrahamic faiths, divine messengers carrying revelations. Dream spirits, delivering visions, omens, and warnings. So those cultures and folklore may call something dream spirits, but understand your higher self can come to you in the same way as a vision, an omen, or warning. Your own higher self, your own oversoul or soul level, your own, those are angel level or archangel level, your own avatar level, your own rishi level, your own ascended master level can come to you as these expressions. But they believe it's connected to gods and, gods and other, mortals. Some spirits come as healers because you can't heal yourself. Shamanic spirits, animal helpers, ancestral healers, assisting medicine people. Just medicine people, huh? Spirits of plants, nature forces believed to carry these healing powers. Remember, you're taught that you have everything you need inside to heal thyself. Machiwa. In some traditions, illness is seen as caused by spirit imbalance, and healing involves spirit intervention. There's a category of messengers called tricksters, chaotic, and unpredictable teaching lessons through mischief. Wait, that's already something that that is just a note from another category as well, because it also says the coyote, Native American, and the Loki, Norse. I don't like repeating stuff, so let me go beyond that. Actually, there's types of spirits called genies. Jinn, or Djinn, original in pre-Islamic Arabian folklore. Okay, later incorporated in Islam. So they got a lot of things going on besides Allah, right? So created from smokeless fire, unlike supposedly humans were made from clay. So we're made of clay, homies. And these spirits are made of smokeless fire. Or angels. Well, angels are made of light. You're not, but, in these teachings, in the context of creation, you learn about the primal light fields in density 5. Density 4, density 3, density 2, and density 1 all exist within density 5, primal light fields. We're all made of light. That's the spiritual science or the spiritual secret. We're all made of light. Everything is here a holographic light radiation. Everything is a hologram. Everything here is made of light. So we're not talking about the polarity of darkness or love or light. We're talking about the physics of light. We're all made of light. So there's no such thing as something being made out of clay, like an organism made of clay, and something made of smokeless fire, and something else like angels made of light. We're all made of light. It's a spiritual science. It's called Partikai. Check it out. See, that's what's cool in these teachings. God is tangible. The soul is tangible. You can understand it. And these things actually, are still being believed in many cultures today. Like stories about, some grant wishes like an Aladdin, some blue dude, like all those, isn't it interesting? Hinduism has all these blue-skinned gods. And of course, some of the stories are other genies trick and harm humans. So some grant wishes, some harm you, some are good. Like unlike human clay beings and angels made of light. And there's another category of spirits called demons. We're all familiar with that, but what is their definition of a demon, right? In Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, well, there's demons that are called fallen angels, tempters, or evil spirits. Ancient Mesopotamia, Sumeria, Acadia, Babylonia, not always purely evil. Some demons enforce justice or punishment. Just like these distorted ideas that God does that. God punishes you, God judges you. Well, there's spirits that do it too. You guys, according to these teachings, BS. So there is a real God. All these other ones are false gods, ET gods, claiming to be source, but they're not. They're vampires taking energy from the subordinates of humans, from the blind worship of humans. In some of these, like I said, some of these demons are enforcing justice. Justice. A demon enforces justice, huh? Or punishment. In folklore, demons often embody fear. Of course they do. And chaos. Of course they do. And destructive natural forces. Hello, Yahweh, Father God. That's your red flag. It's demonic energy. I can agree with that one. But it just goes over their head, we see demonic energies, but Yahweh God's God, so He can destroy things and murder kids and all this torture and sacrifices. Try telling that to your Christian family. They will rationalize it 100%. They will have reasons why God does that, and it's not a demon, it's a holy being. And why, it's okay to blood sacrifice because God is God, Jehovah. Ghosts, another type of spirit, a universal concept, but still consciousness, still spirit. So after this, we're going to go into spiritual science of these spirits. Spirits of the dead who linger among the living. Ghosts appear in cultures worldwide, like the Western culture. We talk about, haunted houses. There's entire shows and networks based on hauntings and apparitions. They have these little gadgets to help them sense them. Chinese folklore, hungry ghosts seeking offerings. They want you to feed them because they're hungry for frequency and life force. So give it to them if you want. Japanese ghosts called Onro. Onro. Vengeful female spirits. Watch out! Because they're going to come and kick your ass, baby. I'm not saying they don't exist, but they're just being called some vengeful female spirit. Okay? Folklore of these, tied to unfinished business, improper burial, or trauma. Hauntings associated with locations or objects, not just people. Classic signs, cold spots, because this is a science now because of all these ghost hunting shows. Unexplained noises, apparitions, poltergeist activity. Folklore often links, hauntings to violent deaths. I actually mentioned that earlier. Sacred or accursed ground. What made it cursed, you guys? Right? Think about what made it dark or twisted or haunted. Modern paranormal investigators frame them as residue energy or spirit presence. You have another category of spirit called in black magic, term used for malicious or harmful ritual practices. You got ancient Egypt involved in connection to these spirits. Greece, Babylon, all recorded curses, spells, and rituals. They're called black books. People getting into the occult nowadays, they want to research and find some black book from one of these cultures so they can connect to these type of ghosts and spirits for power, for protection, all those reasons they have. Often contrasted with white magic connected to healing and protective. Field witchcraft fears, in Europe. You've heard of the Salem witch trials, inquisitions, and burnings. It's, this black magic issue. It's still taboo subject in mainstream, religion, but thrives in folklore and occult circles. Like even recently, this guy is famous now. Aleister Crowley, who got involved in Thoth, channeling these demigods, gods, or whatever. And so a lot of people are learning to also channel these beings in their little witchcraft circles and altars. They're learning how to connect to freaking fallen angelic beings, but they're going to think of them as one of these type of spirits. The occult literally means hidden or secret knowledge, and it covers esoteric traditions, alchemy, astrology, mysticism, ceremonial magic. Back in the day, I have volumes and volumes of magic books. Transmuted, long time ago, popular in the Renaissance Europe, among scholars seeking divine knowledge. Instead of here, your innerchristos, they're seeking divine knowledge. Because you've been trained to think you don't know anything. You don't have any connections. You got to go seek it between these spirits, apparently. Which is also later associated with secret societies. I wonder what's going on there in Freemasons, in Rosicrucians, in Golden Dawn. I wonder. Often misrepresented as evil, though many streams, sought wisdom and enlightenment. And this last category, before I go into the Guardian explanation, is gods and goddesses, which I go heavy into here on Christos Avatar TV. In polytheistic traditions, gods and goddesses often overlap with spirits. They embody forces of nature, archetypes, and cosmic principles. A lot of these are still famous nowadays. Greek, Romans, you have Zeus, Hera, Athena, Apollo. You guys? In my own distorted not black magic, I called it magic days, I had an altar for Apollo, man. Why? Because that was one of the beings I was channeling. Now I teach against this black magic, gods and goddesses, malevolent extraterrestrials. I can relate. I can understand what some of those people got involved with, because I once upon a time got involved with. But you grow, Hopefully you grow and heal. I healed myself. I grew. I expanded my consciousness. I found truth in the innerchristos law of one. Besides Greek and Roman, you have the Hinduism, a vast pantheon, one of the largest pantheons. Pantheon simply means a group of gods, a whole bunch of gods, plural gods, which I heavily teach against here on this channel. Vishnu, Shiva, Kali, representing universal principles. That's the freaking garbage distortion of Gnosticism. Kali's teaching you a spiritual lesson, huh? You know, the entity who's literally graphically shown as eating human heads or ripping off human heads, chopping off legs and arms, and she wears those around on her costume and on her outfit. She's got them on her skirt like a belt. Severed heads, severed arms, severed legs, man. And she's teaching you a lesson, apparently. Vishnu, called a destroyer. These are beings teaching you a lesson. Indigo called BS. Discover your inner crystals, homie, and find out the real truth. So yeah, we call out Greek and Roman distortions. We call it Hindu distortions. We call it Egyptian distortions, like Ra, the sun god that you're meant to worship. No, the Egyptians are not meant to worship these beings. There was once upon a time a pharaoh who was trying to bring the truth of that. He was murdered real quick. There's one pharaoh who wanted to change that ancient Egyptian distortion. It's talked about in Voyagers. Amachi Masuta Amakaeveshu. There's a whole chapter on it. I'm going to the Voyagers content. Or maybe it's wait. But it's the whole family of them. Even King Tut is part of it. Nefertiti and her husband. So there once upon a time, there was a guardian who came here, got worshipped as a god, whatever, or as a pharaoh, and was trying to bring the guardian teachings, but got murdered real quick. But the Egyptian worship nowadays goes into Osiris, death and rebirth. Isis, magic, motherhood. You guys, these are not the guardians anymore. Remember, they all got flipped. All these spiritual systems got flipped. All of them on planet Earth, all religions and spiritual teachings got flipped. You're not going to find that many teachings, religions, there is none, talking about innerchristos and law of one. This planet is ruled by fallen angels. This is why you're not going to find it anywhere, and why you're going to find 30,000 plus different gods and intermediaries for your innerchristos. They proliferated our planet with these entities and beings and spirits. Worship involved offerings, rituals, and often overlapping with spirit veneration and invocation, by the way. Many gods and goddesses started as deified ancestors or cultural heroes. It's part of your family, huh? It's coming from frickin' Nibiru or Sirius A or Orion star system or something else. So let me check on chat, you guys. Syrian Star Princess, woohoo! In 2025, no more worshiping red flags. Blessings to you, Syrian Star Princess. Thank you again. You guys, please, I can't do this without your help. You guys, we're still looking at like $60 more. You guys, please help with this chat. Donations, if you can. You can also become a paid member. That's another way to support this work. And also, you can go to my Etsy shop. I have the diagram for sale, and I have some of my artwork for sale. And crystals for sale. That's one of the ways. And I just want to say that my life is completely changing in the next 30 days. Next 30 to 45 days. And that's going to be brutal on my bank account. But these changes are necessary, and it's transitioning me physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I'm not going to give you the details because some people will try to mess with that energy in public. So I wait for it to manifest. When it's manifest and it's obvious, I will share with you. But just so you know, I can tell you that I plan on leaving Nevada, going back to Arizona, baby. And our Sedona trip, our close-knit Sedona trip, small group of us, is the beginning of this transformation. I realize it's actually the jump start, the initiation point of my transformation. This is why I'm asking for donations. I really need help right now. I call out to all those who want to protect this channel, help this channel, support this work, this sacred work. Because I have actually met powerful people like my partners in life, or partners who are going to be doing work with me. So Christos Avatar isn't just going to always be about me. It's going to be about other people. It's going to be a community of us. You guys, this transformation, I'm just calling upon you as your brother Enuhazi, as a guardian. This jumpstart, this transformation includes you. I need your help and support like I've never asked before. It's not going so I can just go have fun in Sedona. Has nothing to do with that. This is a spiritual transformation that is going to be big time. I mean, it's going to be huge in my personal life, but also in my platform. I found my twin flame. That's all I'm going to say right now. So this whole move from Nevada to Arizona is a big deal, and I need your support. I'm not rich. I need, it's a big deal, but this is happening. This is happening. Whether I have to empty my whole bank account to do it, it's happening. I'm not supposed to be in Nevada anymore. I'm supposed to move on close to the Sedona area. Not exactly Sedona, but around the area. Until one day we can step up and have a group frequency, a group retreat. We're going to have a retreat someday. That's part of our plan. Part of our plan is to have a retreat. Thank you very much. I love you. All those who help, all those who assist, all those who have always been helping and supporting. Bless all of you guys, and for helping Christos Avatar survive, for helping Christos Avatar expand and keep on doing this work. I'm committed to all of you. My whole mission in life has been committed to this. I mean, this is my mission for life, and it's only going to get bigger and better. So I will share my journey with you in Sedona, but it doesn't stop there. It's continuing after Sedona. So thank you so much for being part of that, you guys. So whatever you guys can do to help, thank you so much for your help. So spirits. Okay. It's a spiritual science that explains spirit. A spirit is a being that's coming from another frequency, vibration of reality. That includes disembodied spirits. It's a being from another vibration reality, but closer to us than a higher dimensional frequency. So, $550 million years ago. Well, let me back up 10 million years. 560 million years ago, the human race was created as a guardian race. In the second universe, in the fifth dimension of the second universe, we're in the third dimension of the first universe. 25 million years ago, in human seeding 1, we're in human seeding 3 right now. In human seeding 1, we were seated on Earth for a specific reason. We were seated on Earth to specifically rescue fifth dimensional fallen humans who became disembodied. This is why we're creating bodies here. This is why we're created Lemurians, Hyperboreans, Polarians, Atlanteans, to rescue the disembodied spirits who fell into the fourth, the third, and the second hologram fields. They're disembodied. They don't have bodies. We're bringing them. We're creating bodies. Not through clay, not through smokeless fire, whatever you call it. So, 560 million years ago, we were created as a guardian race. But after 10 million years, we were intruded. There was beings who came and infiltrated our sacred teachings, our sacred culture, and so there was some sort of takeover. Specifically, it was the Anunnaki. So you better believe that the Anunnaki have been a nemesis to us for several different timelines. They are fallen angelic, we are angelic, and that's why they're against us and hate us and want us destroyed. And you guys can believe in all your freaking folklore and mythological BS and say that there's some good about the Anunnaki. These beings are the ones who are demonic energies. It's not your brother Anahazi saying it, it's the guardian saying it. But hey, homie, I'm a guardian. They effed with our race, and they took over power just like you see Illuminatis have taken power nowadays. It's no different. It's the same beings. The same beings from 550 million years ago, the same beings here now in 2025 in your freaking churches, in your religions, in your New Age teachings. They're the same beings who have taken over, the financial system, who are creating all these wars, who create all these laws, who create all these taxations. They took over 550 million years ago and started trying to go at war with Lemuria and destroy the Lemurians. The Lemurians were still following the law of one. They were able to trick and take over the Atlanteans, but they couldn't take over the Guardian Lemurians. So they weaponized the original crystal technology and weaponized it to try to decimate the Lemurians off the planet. It backfired. They actually destroyed themselves because they didn't understand the Guardian technology. They made errors and miscalculations in the technology. And you will see the details here in the Voyager's 2 book. So, this destruction in the 5th dimension of planet Tara created a cataclysm. There is a lot of force and energy involved in a cataclysm. And so the cataclysm created this reverse frequency energy, took the 5D energy, reversed it, and slowed it the F down, and it fell into the first universe. A second universal frequency fell into a first dimensional energy. Those frequencies, those beings, those Atlanteans and Lemurians who got destroyed in the cataclysm, those energies fell from the Taran, you would say, morphogenetic field into another universe. Now they're separate from their morphogenetic field. They can't reincarnate into their original bodies, into their original templates. They got disembodied in the universe 1, literally without their bodies. They're called disembodied spirits. And the details are in Voyagers, but it happened in, you have disembodied consciousness in the astral, which is 4D. Not all of Tara, not all of the second universe, a portion of the lower 4th dimensional astral. And then there's disembodied spirits in the second and in the 3rd dimension, and there's disembodied spirits in the 2nd dimension. So the Guardians wanted to rescue. We're Guardians. We're going to take action. We're going to take responsibility. They create a rescue plan, and they call it a rescue plan in the Voyagers books. Because the morphogenetic field is in another universe, another dimension. You can't, it's impossible. It's science. You can't go into the body there from the lower first universe. So the first universe needed a solution. And that solution was to travel back in time, go to the 3rd dimension, and create a genetic hybridization experiment to rescue the disembodied spirits. So they created something called the sphere of Amenti. The sphere of Amenti is now in the Andromeda system, but it was once upon a time connected to the Earth system. And because of fallen angelic intruder races again, it was changed to Sirius. This is why we got a freaking connection to Sirians. And then it got changed to Alcyon. This is changed because, once again, because of fallen angels messing with us. But this is where spirits, malevolent spirits, remember I said there's 2 explanations. This is one of the explanations. This is where some of the spiritual, negative spiritual, whatever, or confused or lost spiritual beings are coming from. These are beings that got lost in the cataclysm in the 3rd, the 2nd, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd dimension. This is why we create the Lemurians in the 2nd dimension, why we create the Atlanteans in the 3rd dimension, and now we're part of the 4th strand, astral beings, connecting and rescuing the astral consciousness. Thank you for those hearts, Holy One, whoever's doing that. So, we got all this disembodied consciousness that we need to, that are in the process of ascension. trying to rescue them and take them back to home, which is Tara. And if you're confused about what I'm saying, you guys, there's several chapters that talk about it. This is the beginning of humanity in Human Seeding 3, starting 800,000 years ago. This is where all our ancient cultures come from, homies. But mainstream science is hiding from you. They're keeping the secret of Atlantis and Lemuria hidden from you. This is why the Guardians themselves call it our forbidden history, because we're not allowed to know it. Now your little freaking, your huge history has been shrunken from 800,000 years down to, what the shit is Samaria 5,000-6,000 years? What is that? That is BS. You just got your identity chopped down to a microscope, man, level. We have a huge history, a huge identity. But this is why this is where all these folklores, okay, that's one of the explanations. The other explanation is that beings in higher dimensions, okay, we're in the third dimension. Well, there's beings in the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, and the sixth dimension, mostly, not only. But mostly those are the beings from the density universe who can interact with us as spirits. We are carbon matter. They are crystal carbon, etheric matter. Etheric carbon matter. Not the same matter as us. So when they appear to us, they don't appear solid looking. They appear ghost-like looking. So you see, there's no such thing really as the word ghost or spirit. We just made those ideas up. These are multidimensional consciousness. Wherever your consciousness is embodied, and you are interacting with another consciousness in another vibration, frequency, dimension, it appears in a ghost-like body form. And all these ancient cultures, they didn't understand that. They don't know the context of creation. They don't have the 15-dimensional time matrix diagram. So they came up with ideas of what these beings are, and now it's been historically called spirits. And now you think it's just this mystical idea. And just like you think heaven is this mystical idea. I made a video today, check it out, talking about what really is heaven. Which is also, once again, explained by the context of creation. Thank you, Zen Piano. Thank you so much for your support, Holy One. Everything makes a difference. Thank you, Celine, beloved sister. Thank you so much for those 999, powerful number. I can't believe our group meeting is coming closer and closer. Thank you. All right, so let me bring up the 15-dimensional time matrix diagram real quick. And share with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to make myself disappear. And by the way, this is one of the few ways I can support myself, you guys. I'm selling this diagram, and so there's two versions of it, but this is the expanded version. But you can also just buy the cheaper, it's only $5 cheaper if you get the older version. But this is how I support my work, plus it's an amazing tool to help support your study in these teachings. So Creator God created this, and I'm not going to re-explain everything, but we have this 15-dimensional time matrix, and this is the universe we are in. And I just told you the whole background story of Tara. We're from Torah. We're the future angelic humans. I mean, that's where we are in the fifth dimension. This is where the cataclysm happened, and then life fell to the Lord. You would say the cataclysm created the consciousness to fall into this universe. Now notice there's 5 universes, right? Notice the barrier between each universe. Here's a barrier. It's called a magnetic repulsion zone. There's a magnetic repulsion zone between each universe. So you can't fly to it. You can't take light speed in your UFO or spaceship and go to the next universe. It's impossible. You can only go from one universe to another universe through stargates and wormholes and portals. So so let's say we're solid physical beings here. So if you experience spirits, remember my first explanation is that they're in the hollow fields. In 2 or 3 or some of the astral. You're being affected by or influenced, or you're interacting with something that's disembodied, has no body, cannot reincarnate or ascend until it gets a body. So this is why we have to rescue them, because otherwise they'd be lost forever. And what did Ashiana say? If you don't have a 3D body to go to, well, what's the next available template? Oh. Hey, I'm not trying to do that. What the shit? If you're in disembodied and there's no body and you're a 3D strand or 4D strand you were, well, you become one of your spirit will go inside one of these. And you know, this is the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the elemental kingdom. So some of the disembodied consciousness, according to Ashiana, well, they couldn't go into a human body, so they went into an animal body or a plant body or elemental body. That makes you think about all of those cultures worshiping animals. And why some animals seem like they're more evolved than other animals. That's another conversation. I'll let you think about that. But the disembodied consciousness needs a body. But anyways, that's one explanation for these spirits. The other explanation is that, well, like I said, these higher dimensional beings, if they're going to come and mess with you in your dream state, in your altered state, well, it's not a disembodied spirit. It's one of these beings, good or positive. And you guys, my diagram looks distorted because this is a rasterized copy. Your copy is not distorted. And now I will show it to you. Let me show it to you real quick. Time matrix. Open up the time matrix Christos avatar PDF, and I'll switch to the PDF. Okay, so we're zoomed in to here. You see the distortion? When you start to zoom in too far? Well, let's show you what it actually is when you buy it. The product is not rasterized. Let me zoom in on the fourth dimension here. I gotta get the stupid hand tool. Stupid. It's not letting me zoom in. Now it is. You see? I'm zooming in. There's no distortion. I zoom in. It's perfectly crystal clear. That's what you're buying. That's what you're receiving. My Photoshop copy is a rasterization, and that's why you're going to see it pixelated. But anyways, what you call, these beings will appear to you when you're high, when you're on mushrooms, or maybe it's your higher selves from these dimensions. Well, they're going to appear ghost-like. So ghosts and spirits have different explanations. They could be disembodied beings from the same universe, universe 1, or they can be beings, ETs, or spirit, or higher selves from second universe. So this is the explanation of what spirits are. And you'll see there's so much distortion about what spirits are. Thank you guys for hanging with me tonight. Thank you so much, you guys. Yes! OMG, we did it with Gina Sutton! Bless you, sister. OMG, thank you, Gina. You're a lifesaver. You're a heavy hitter. What's up, Holy One? Thank you so much for supporting this work. You've done it so many times. You're a huge blessing. You make a difference. I feel you in my journey. Thank you, Gina. Bless you, sister. Thank you so much. It's a big stage about what I'm doing in my life. I'm about to leave Nevada and just there's so many amazing signs. I'm just so happy that I can change my life and truly focus on the teachings on a much higher level. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you all the details now, but I will share with you as it unfolds, as it blossoms. I'll be excited to share with you guys. Thank you so much, Gina, and for all of you guys who supported this work tonight. And thank you to all my regulars. You guys are helping me survive. Thank you to my moderators and your service and your support. Bless all of you who are regulars who can't donate. That's okay. You're here. You're still supporting the work. Your presence is supporting this work. Your comments are part of this group effort. So thank you guys so much for being part of this collective, Guardian Collective. We're spiritual badasses, homies. We're not perfect, but we're striving to be reclaiming our divine blueprint. So thank you all of you. Maybe some of my news shocked some of you, disappointed some of you. That's going to happen in the world. I can't please everybody, but I love you, all of you who have been in my journey, all of you who have messaged me, who have been involved in conversations with me. I love all of you. I respect all of you in your journey. And I know I'm not calm as I could be in some of my lives. I have a lot of passion. But like I said before, with my twin flame, I will certainly be more balanced energy, a much better service. So thank you. All of you involved. Thank you for being part of my life. Thank you for being part of my future life. Thank you for being part of this group. Thank you for being part of this movement. It's a powerful movement. You are needed, brothers and sisters. All of you indigo children and starseeds, angelic humans, all of you are needed. We need you to wake up. We need you to transmute your distortions. We need you to go through these teachings and make your decrees. You decree. These teachings provide in all these different workshops. And I will be coming out with more of those. I will be making those as posts, because there's no time to sit and wait. There's no more time for that. We're going to be kicking butt together. We're going to be making the difference together. And when I say that we're going to manifest a retreat or guided tours to all the sacred sites, the twin flame of Oceana and Michael Dean, once upon a time, twin flames. They were going around the planet. They had groups. They had tours. I'm going to have groups and tours. We're going to be going to the sacred sites together. We're going to go to the stargates together, the activation sites together. There's going to be people not liking what we do. There's always going to be people who are anti-Christic. We stand in our power. We're not going to be in fear, in hiding. We're not going to be, irresponsible. We're still going to learn how to protect ourselves and develop resources. So I hope you guys will invest in Christos Avatar. I hope you'll make this movement big and better. Because there's so many beautiful things around the corner. I believe strongly. I believe in my confirmation, my conviction that this platform and all the Christos Avatar TV platforms, we're gonna like you see me doing certain work, right? But the work is just gonna get freaking more and more focused on the advanced stuff. Eventually, I'll be doing both. There's always going to be newcomers, so we'll always have beginner stuff. But you guys, I promise you, it's part of the plans. It's in the works, you could say, that I'm going to be bringing all the advanced concepts and techniques and diagrams. The last few months of 2025 and definitely coming in 2026, you're going to see a huge upgrade in this platform, our platform. All those who align with this identity of Indigo, Team Indigo. So thank you for my patience. I'm so happy and excited for this transition, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Thank you guys for hanging with us tonight. Thank you for you guys supporting this live tonight. Those of you who did donate. I made a post. I made a post on all my platforms except Twitter, but all my other platforms, I posted that I need your help for the Sedona trip. If any of you can help me on my Sedona trip, please follow that link to my PayPal, you guys. And I promise I'll be sharing some of that. I can't share all of it. We are part of a private experience too, but there will be moments where I'll do a live from the vortices themselves. I'll go get private and turn the live on and share some of it. And sometimes I'll be in my apartment and I'll share a live with you. And I'm going to share all the amazing, beautiful, fantastic pictures of Sedona. All the amazing footage of Sedona. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And you see your brother, I'm starting to work out. I just finished my second work of working out. OMG, my legs are on fire because I just did those yesterday. I was doing lunges and squats. Your brother Anuhazi is doing, for my shoulders, I was doing the military press. I was doing the side lateral raises and front raises. My shoulders are so, I'm doing curls. I'm doing, regular curls and also different curls, and I'm doing a ton of push-ups. I'm doing supersets again. I'm doing I only have dumbbells. I don't have an Olympic bar yet, so I have to do even my deadlift with dumbbells, but I'm doing deadlifts. I'm doing one arm rows. Some of you know this stuff. And I'm doing calf raises. I'm just going all out, you guys. So I'm going to change physically. I'm going to cut my hair. This isn't going to always be long. I want I'm taking care of my form. My twin flame taking care of her form. I'm just shifting. And every time my life is shifted, there's always some big obvious thing, like my hair being cut. and dyed black. It's my own choice. I want to have black hair again. It doesn't matter what my age is. That's what I want. You should care and appreciate what I want to do in my personal life, in my personal appearance. I'm going to be strong and athletic again. I'm going to be happy and joyous and romantic. I'm going to be poetic and tender with you, more tender, more soft-spoken, not so aggressive, not so, I don't want to say the word, I'm not going to be less passionate. I'm just going to be more tamed passionate. Yeah, baby, what's up? Sure, some people are going to be so 3D point of view and leave my channel because of this change. Others of you are going to recognize the improvement, the expansion. Yeah, man, those are the kind of people I surround myself with, not superficial people. Superficial people are gonna reveal themselves. They're gonna come out and just expose themselves for what they are. But the real homies here are gonna see the true value sprouting, blossoming in your brother Anuhazi, not trying to bring me down and trying to attack me because of my changes. It's only good changes, homie. And you can sense my sincerity, my integrity is my service to you guys. Thank you so much. Bless you tonight. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Aquiel, Aquion. Shada ure akuntan. Shada ure akuntan. Still down. Shada ure akuntan. Omedai patuma, Omedai patuma, patuma hedeta hekomna. Omedai patuma, treti laiderna, treti laiderna. Dharma hekem ta hekumna. Omedai patuma. I am Christar. Say it with me, Vato Locos, in Christ, Christos. I am Christar. I am Christar. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. Thank you for sharing this live with us together. Blessings to all of you. Have a beautiful, powerful, Christic week. I'll see you soon. Namaste, aho, machiwa. I want to share something that my twin flame shared with me, and I want to share with all of you, because it is part of your sacred sexuality workshop by Speaker 1, Ashiana Dean, and Michael Dean, Speaker 2. Where did I save it? I know where I saved it. I just feel called, so I'm going to do it. To all of you twin flames out there, to all of you who are out there, Thank you for your patience. Decrees. One of these decrees of many decrees. You speak these to yourself. Ame Eturna Son. I return now to innocence, purity, and eternal perfection of the core self that I am. I return now in innocent longing to the one core point of eternal love. I release now all worries or fears of the outer worlds. I release now all condemnations, angers, pain, or sadness. I return now through the window of innocent longing to embrace the truth of my internal perfection in being. Eternal perfection in being, as it lives always within the heart song of God's source. And this is one of the 3 affirmations of access to the diamond doorway, it's called, from the Ma Aturna song, Sacred Sexuality, recorded in Ashiana's workshop, Emerald Order workshop. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.